Good day, Foresight community. Today with us is Ledeja Godina Košir. Hello, Ledeja.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. So, Ledeja Godina Košir is a CEO of Circular Change and one of the prominent consultants on circular economy. So today we will learn about the circular city and how future will look like. So can you tell us, Ledeja, about it? About circular city?
What circular city actually is? So the circular city is the city where circular principles are embedded in all functions of the city. What do we need to make city circular? We need the understanding of what we are aiming for, so that we would like to prevent waste, to maintain value, and to design all the streams so that we can recycle, reuse, refurbish as much as we can.
What about good design? It's also part of the concept?
It's not only part of, it's a crucial part, because before we start thinking about circular economy, we should think, do we need something? And how are we going to design it if we decide that we need a certain product or service? So design is crucial for creating circular solutions.
Okay, and the reuse of material, like, what does it mean? Can you tell us?
Yeah, of course. We have virgin materials, so those that we dig and we use, like concrete, cement, or glass for buildings. Or we can use materials that are already recycled. So if we take bottles, glass bottles for example, we can recycle glass bottles and use them once again. Or with plastic, normally we can recycle it and use it again. But mainly the idea here is not to use virgin materials, but to use as much recycled or secondary material as possible.
Okay. So can you tell us about good practice cases and about some city examples, please?
I would pick two that are famous in Europe, so we are going to the north. And I would say that Amsterdam is a leading example.
Amsterdam?
Yes, and the Netherlands as such is the most circular country, we can say so. What they did, for example, is that last year they invited the author of Donut Economics book, Kate Rovert, and with her they're designing now Circular Amsterdam.
Wow, okay. What about some other cities?
Yeah, Oslo. I said
again, Scandinavia. Wow. Okay.
I promised you some examples from the north, yes.
Okay.
So in Oslo, there was a very well-known conference as well 2 years ago on urban planning and the future of cities. And at that time, Oslo introduced the concept of circular city as well, and they were also nominated in 2019 as one of as the first city regarding the well-being. So when we are talking about circular economy, well-being and quality of life is of crucial importance.
Okay, but what about city changers? Who they are? What are the different stakeholder groups?
Yeah, it is essential that we know how to collaborate. Because without engagement of the city authorities, of the cities, of the business sector, of all other institutions like research and university, education and so on, we cannot move towards circular economy. So this is essential, that we know how to engage them and then how to orchestrate them on long term.
Excellent. So there is a place for companies?
Absolutely. And business is usually the leader of this circular transition. And what is the reason? What would you say? Business is still money driven. And what is good is that with circular economy, you are becoming more competitive. And the companies that have this sustainability embedded in their vision, they know that without this transition from linear models, where you take, use, and then waste it, you should implement circular business models. So therefore, business is very much, I would say, a front runner also on the city level.
Okay, interesting. So how to create the city of well-being? So what are the next steps? So it's not only brainwashing with the labeling of eco and sustainability, but what is in?
Yeah, you know, as you mentioned, we have a lot of different titles for cities, like green cities. For example, Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia, used to be the green city as well, and Oslo, the same. But what we realized now in this COVID crisis is that what we need is the environment where we can maintain the quality of life that we are used to. Wow. For us, it is like normal that we have greenery around, that we have eat local food and things like that. But we should not take it for granted. And here is one example.
This is a great example.
Yes, of that, how the future of the cities would look like. So you see a lot of green buildings, and of course here we have green energy as well. And as I said, the systemic approach is crucial. So we are not only thinking about buildings, but we are thinking about the living environment. And here what is nice part, what comes together is digitalization on one side, how we use the data and how we transform that, and green solutions.
Well, and what about communities? So you, at the beginning, about the concept, you mentioned the accessibility for people. But what about communities? How communities are built around the city environment?
Whenever we talk about circular economy, there are three components. So the economic one, we mentioned, the business, the social one, and environmental one. And the one that you mentioned now is related to that, how we, as human beings, do live in those cities. And here we come to this social component. So because we are getting older, in Europe particularly, this demographic trend, we have to think about that, how to engage older people, for example, as well into the living environment, as well as, of course, to create jobs and environment where young, creative people would move in and create a prosperous future.
Excellent. And now we see here a new European Bauhaus.
Yeah.
So it was presented this year by the President of the Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. So can you tell us a bit about
what
it?
I mentioned right now, creativity, and you mentioned previously design. So the solutions now, when we are talking about Green Deal and green recovery, what Ursula von der Leyen stressed is that we need good design to improve our lives. So it is not only about technology, it is also about that, how are these solutions created, whether something is nice or not, whether we have this aesthetic feeling, and all that is needed for the cities of the future and for the environment where we would like to live in the future.
Thank you, Ledeja.
You're welcome.
This was FORESIGHT Talk with Ledeja Godina Košir. What we learned today is that circular cities of the future will definitely change the nature of living, will also help economies, but what is important, it is also about the people. It will build communities that all of us will feel comfortable to live in.